Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder. On this week's presentation, we bring you highlights of the commissioning ceremony for Hope Estate's new nursery at Kiruni on the Linden-Suestack Highway. This is a new coconut nursery, one of several being established all across the country as part of a decentralization program for coconut nurseries. As you are aware, the Hope Estate was the repository for all coconut seedlings, the various varieties, the 18-month, 3-year, and the 5-year varieties. But now, in an effort to ensure that farmers all across the country are able to access coconut seedlings in their particular area of business, that it is easier, and of course they will be able to save on the cost for acquiring seedlings to expand their cultivations. As you are aware, government has launched a national sensitization program to jumpstart the expansion of the local coconut industry. The number being mentioned here is at a rate of 1,000 acres every year. Of course, that will gain momentum as the program kicks in, but in the meantime, these are the preparatory measures being instituted, and so this commissioning at Kiruni marks the start of this national program, the decentralized coconut nursery, and of course offer it to farmers in every part of the country, in every region. Coconut nurseries have already been established at Charity and other parts of the Essequibo coast. Last week, areas in Wakenham and Legwan were identified as areas for the establishment of nurseries. Farmers there are going to be working in partnership with Hope Estate on this endeavor. All right. So this program is produced for television by Matrix Video Productions and Advertising, based in East Berbice. We will be back after these messages.
Coconut farmers across Guyana are invited to visit the Hope Estate for top quality coconut seedlings in any quantity. Now available are 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. It should be noted that the spacing of your coconut seedlings is determined by the variety you are planting. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone numbers 256-0599 or 663-2709. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture.
Here's an important notice. Do you know that it is illegal to import, store, distribute, sell, and purchase antibiotics without a license or prescription, as the case may be? According to the Antibiotic Act of 1952, owners of livestock and other animals are not permitted to purchase and use antibiotics unless prescribed by a veterinarian. It should be noted that the misuse of antibiotics could result in the development of resistance to the very antibiotics, which in turn will pose health risk to the animal and to humans. The GLDA advises that farmers should not administer antibiotics to animals unless prescribed by a veterinarian. Non-compliance with this act will result in fines and imprisonment. A message from the Ghana Livestock Development Authority, Ministry of Agriculture.
The control of red rice through careful management of water levels in your rice field for the first 40 days is critical to your yield at the end of the crop. Water acts as an agent to control red rice and even other grass weeds at a depth of 4 inches. With proper land preparation and leveling established, maintaining a light flood continuously until the canopy is fully developed will suppress red rice establishment. Leaving the land exposed for any length of time will give weeds an ample chance to germinate and infest the field. Panicle cutting should be done prior to shattering. The second cutting exercise should be conducted at 20 days to control panicle regrowth. Water management is one of 3 critical interventions for the effective control of red rice. A message from the Guyana Rice Development Board, Ministry of Agriculture. It is a given that in addition to any exposed part of your body, the clothing worn during pesticide application will be contaminated with whatever chemicals you are using. All pesticides are dangerous to human health, even those persons exposed indirectly. Always wash clothing used in chemical application separately. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, Ministry of Agriculture. The decentralization of the coconut nursery at Hope Estate is now officially underway, with the commissioning Tuesday of the new coconut nursery at Kiruni on the Linden-Suisdike Highway in the compound of Nursery's substation at that location. The new nursery, which will have a capacity of delivering 12,000 new coconut seedlings every 3 months, was commissioned by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa during a simple ceremony. The establishment of coconut nurseries in every region is part of government's master plan for the rapid expansion of the local industry to meet the lucrative and ever-increasing demand for coconuts on the international market. Together with the decentralization of seedling facilities, government has also launched a national coconut sensitization exercise aimed at educating farmers about the opportunities available for significant wealth generation through an expansion not only of coconut cultivation but of the current uses of coconuts here, with a focus on producing value-added products that conform with the demands of the markets everywhere. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony at Nari's Kiruni station, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa outlined the government's vision for the industry and the blueprint for this to be realized.
We in the Ministry of Agriculture, we are looking at the coconut industry not only to develop it, but coconut will play an important role in earning scarce foreign capital into our country. Over the next 5 years, I want to assure you, we have heard speakers talk about importance of coconut to our economy. Coconut is the third largest producer of revenue in our country in terms of exporting. We want coconut to be the primary, or one of the primary products, because, as I said, coconut has potential, and that is why potential to develop our economy, to contribute to the development of our economy. That is why, as Minister of Agriculture, we are putting the effort, energy, and importance in the coconut industry. What we plan to do, as the General Manager rightly said, we plan to decentralize to different parts of our country. Because in this sector, the agriculture sector, as I mentioned at various forums, I see agriculture as the most important sector in our country. A sector that is here to stay. A sector that will contribute to the wealth of our country. A sector that will create jobs for our country. And more importantly, a sector that will create food security for our country. So we have to put that we will continue to put that investment not only in the coconut industry but the entire agriculture sector as a whole. Coconut, as I said, and you heard, even the chairman just referred to it, coconut we can use all, not only the water and the nuts, but we can use almost everything from coconut. In countries like Sri Lanka, places like Kerala in India, they are using the coconut as a main form of revenue earners for these economies. And we right here in Guyana, as I said, we are on the verge of developing our coconut industry to a different stage. We have been invited by the international coconut community to be a member of that community, where we plan to join the coconut community so we can have the benefit from that organization. And we'll continue to invest. As a matter of fact, in this, as the Ministry of Agriculture embark on the expansion of our coconut industry, we are seeing interest being generated by individual groups across the country. I've already had meetings with various stakeholders, with various private farmers, and they also have plans to develop their individual coconut plantation. Now, what we have here, according to the technical people, we have an 18 months or 2-year coconut plants. But this here is only, or we can only use this for the water. I am encouraging you, we must also look at the other aspect, or the other parts of coconut in terms of the nut, in terms of oil production and copra. So we have to use the other set of plants, the 5 years, the 5 years plant. So we must also look at it because, as I said, we can use coconut to tap into not only the Caribbean markets, but North America. When you go into these supermarkets, you see coconut water coming all the way from Thailand, coming all the way from Bangladesh and Kerala and Sri Lanka, come all the way from Vietnam. But you are not seeing Guyana coconut water on the shelf in the supermarket in the Caribbean and North America.
According to Minister Mustafa, the government of Guyana will be building new partnerships and solidifying existing ones, such as with the Caribbean Agriculture Development Institute, CARDI, to bring the technology and institutional knowledge of the business of coconuts, exposing local farmers to training on how to convert the coconut and every other part of the tree to value and wealth, both for themselves and for the country in terms of foreign exchange earnings.
We will be working with organizations like CARDI. We will be working with the international coconut community. Hopefully, we can have training with our technical people in this country to go abroad to have training with places like Sri Lanka, where they're using every aspect of the coconut. We can do that. So, friends, as I said this afternoon, I am happy to be here. This is the first part of the Ministry of Agriculture decentralization of the coconut facilities that we have. You will not have to go now to East Coast to purchase coconut plants. This here will be an area, both from Region 4 and Region 10, this area will service. We have another one which we will commission very shortly at Charity in the Essequibo, where we will decentralize it and take it to Essequibo. I plan next year we will go to Berbice and move nurseries to Berbice and move to different parts like the interior, Region 9, and other regions across the country, so we can fully develop our coconut industry. As I said, in the Ministry of Agriculture, we have had a number of issues we were able to solve in the last 4 months. Not only in coconut, but other forms of production, other crops. And we will be working assiduously over the next few years to develop this important sector. As I said, that this sector here is capable of bringing in a lot of foreign exchange.
There are 3 varieties of coconuts currently available to farmers here: the 18-month, the 3-year and 5-year varieties. Most farmers in recent times have been opting for the 18-month variety, as this is the shortest time to being able to begin earning from the tree. It should also be noted that while the variety is called 18 months, the tree does not begin bearing until around 2 years, 2 months or thereabouts. However, the Agriculture Minister urged farmers to endeavor to cultivate the variety that is best suited to what it is they propose to produce, be it coconuts for the water or coconut for the production of oil or copra. For water, the 18-month variety is the preferred variety, but for oil and the copra, the 5-year variety is best suited for this. Minister Mustafa encouraged the farmers to not be daunted by the time factor in coconut cultivation, but to have a vibrant intercropping plan in place that will ensure them an income while the coconut plants grow to maturity.
Now, many persons don't plant coconut too because of the time it takes to produce. You just heard from the technical people. Whilst the coconut, you are waiting the production of coconut, you can do other crops. I went to a farm here on the highway not so long ago. Mr. Adams, he is doing intercropping. He plants coconut, he plants bell pepper and cassava at the same time. So while he's awaiting the crop from the coconut, he is reaping his bell pepper, he is reaping his cassava and other crops you could plant, black-eyed peas and other things like that. So you don't have to plant the coconut and wait for the tree to produce in 2 years or 5 years. Between those periods, you could have other temporary crops. That is why they call it intercropping.
One of the major stumbling blocks to expansion by small farmers is the cost of clearing and preparing lands for the establishment or rehabilitation of lands for coconuts, a stumbling block which government has signaled its intention to help farmers over in the new year.
And I want to assure you that come next year, we will be a member of the international coconut community. We will continue to develop our coconut industry. We will help the farmers. In the new year, I want to help our farmers because those small farmers who have small plantation, sometimes their plantation are being overtaken by weeds, by vines. We want to work out a program. I will ask Nursery to work out a program together with the Hope Coconut Industries to work out a program where we can assist farmers from the government level, from the Ministry of Agriculture, where we can help put back your farm, those small farmers, put back their farm in proper shape so that you can continue the production of coconut. Because we will be putting a lot of effort and a lot of investment in the coconut industry. And we want to help you, the farmers. That is the investment as a government we are making. We are making investment for the future of this country.
Earlier in the program, General Manager of the Hope Estates, Mr. Ricky Rupchan, gave an overview of the decentralization of the seedling program and about the national sensitization effort now underway.
Many of you will know that coconut ranks third in our agriculture sector after rice and sugar, and fourth in our non-traditional sector in terms of earnings. As a result, the Ministry of Agriculture, through several of its agencies such as Nursery, Hope Coconut Industries Limited, the New Guyana Marketing Corporation and CARDI, are presently working in close collaboration and pooling its resources together to improve this very important sector for the benefit of all stakeholders involved. We realize that one of the major constraints of the coconut industry is the lack of access to adequate supply of good planting material, and this will significantly help to address this issue, this nursery. Farmers along the Suicide-Linden Highway as well as farmers from Linden will also now have easy access to adequate amounts of high-quality coconut seedling at an affordable cost. The time taken and the long distances to travel to Hope Estate to purchase coconut seedling, which as many of you would know from experience is expensive. This unfortunate situation that farmers had to endure is now a thing of the past. That, I must say, was one of the main reasons for the decentralization of the National Coconut Seedling Program. We have to address several other issues and challenges that are hindrance towards the continued development of the coconut industry. A few of these are as follows. One, we need to replace senile plants that are 60 years old and older. It's a proven fact that plants of this age produce 40% less nuts, and in many cases too tall to harvest. More than 50% of the world's coconut palm are considered senile. 2. Create an environment and skill to produce high-value coconut products at a village level. This, I think, new GMC will take a key role in achieving this goal. Thirdly, we would like to encourage farmers to cultivate early bearing and high-yielding varieties, and also intercropping, which is done successfully, can guarantee a steady income. As you notice here at this nursery, the variety we have here is what you call the 18-month. or some people refer to it as Suriname Brong, or some people refer to it as the Brong Duar. So whatever name they use is the same thing, right? So just want to make that clear. Fourthly, form an alliance with several international recognized research and development organizations such as the International Coconut Community, which can lend both technical and financial support towards the development of Guyana's coconut sector. Fifthly, we have to urgently look at ways and implement products can better utilize coconut waste, especially at the farm level. And finally, look at the possibility of establishing an agriculture development bank, where farmers and other stakeholders in the sector can access finances at an affordable interest rate. This, I strongly believe, will stimulate both development and expansion, not only to our coconut industry, but our agriculture sector as a whole.
Also present at the commissioning exercise was a critical partner in the plan for the revitalization and expansion of the local industry, CARDI, in the person of Mr. Juman Kundan, the organization's local representative here. He spoke at length of the wealth-generating potential of the industry and the need for the focus to be not only on expansion of cultivations, but on expanding and building on the value-added aspect of the industry with a global market in mind. The CARDI rep stressed the importance of the seedling nurseries being established around the country, explaining that the success of any crop starts with the selection of the highest quality planting material, the difference between a successful harvest and a mediocre result.
The custom practice is to plant a coconut tree and hope that it bears after 3 to 5 years. But with this initiative, with this approach, you're eliminating that risk and you are putting yourself as a farm. Think about if you're planting acres and acres, you want to make sure that you have good returns on your investment and your time. As Dr. Omnod said, you wait all this time and you want to make sure when your trees come into production, they are high yielding trees. So a nursery will give you that high quality selected nuts.
Mr. Kundan disclosed that CARDI has committed its resources to another 5 years here in Guyana and looks forward to helping local farmers to grow not only in the coconut sector, but generally.
We're going to continue to partner and continue to provide technical support and guidance as much as possible in all the areas. Nursery is one, getting back your industry at the productive stage, but also in diversifying the industry and make it one of value-added, high-quality value-added products. And waste management is another major area in any industry. We have to manage our waste, and that is another area of interest we are going to work and tackle head on. So I will encourage fellow agriculturists, fellow farmers, if I can say that, this is an important time. This is an opportune time for you to get into the coconut industry. Establish, as just down the highway, there is a state-of-the-art modern coconut factory plant that is there to receive and purchase nuts that are coming all the way from the Cameroon. And you're here right in this location where you could capitalize on that opportunity. This is exciting times. We are also going to be working a lot on tissue culture. We've been promoting a lot. The Mexicans have mastered the art of producing coconut through tissue culture. We have sent staff from technical officers from Nursery to train, and more of that is coming. And it's an exciting time to get into coconut. So I want to encourage you to continue to look for the opportunities and see the benefits of it. And we are here to continue, Minister, in partnering in the transformation of the coconut industry.
The commissioning ceremony was chaired by newly installed chairman of the board of directors of Hope Estate, Pandit Rabindranath Prasad. He described agriculture in Guyana as a culture that must be treasured.
Agriculture, it's culture, and it is the first culture that links people from different parts of the world. And culture is something that allows you to explore your inherent potential to the best. And planting or involving in agriculture is one of the opportunities. It's a sacred opportunity in which we can explore our potentials at the best. I always believe in the Indian way or sacred book. It says coconut is called Briksha Kalpataru, meaning the wish yielding tree. Every part of the coconut is useful and every part of the plant is useful. You tell me of a part which is not useful, and I will tell you and show you how it is useful. And that is the reason even though our ceremonies are incomplete without coconut. I encourage you, therefore, to cultivate coconut. For me, it is the best crop and can give you all the satisfaction that you think you so much deserve.
Coconut nurseries have already been established at Charity and other parts of the Essequibo coast. Additional nurseries will be established in the other regions of the country in the coming months. Additionally, Hope Estate, in association with NARI, has initiated a national sensitization program that will involve the hosting of several workshops for coconut farmers in all the regions. The production and broadcast of infomercials and training videos in all aspects of the industry, including the value-added aspects, will also be undertaken.
Here's an important notice. Do you know that it is illegal to import, store, distribute, sell, and purchase antibiotics without a license or prescription, as the case may be? According to the Antibiotic Act of 1952, owners of livestock and other animals are not permitted to purchase and use antibiotics unless prescribed by a veterinarian. It should be noted that the misuse of antibiotics could result in the development of resistance to the very antibiotics, which in turn will pose health risk to the animal and to humans. The GLDA advises that farmers should not administer antibiotics to animals unless prescribed by a veterinarian. Non-compliance with this act will result in fines and imprisonment. A message from the Ghana Livestock Development Authority, Ministry of Agriculture.
It is a given that in addition to any exposed part of your body, the clothing worn during pesticide application will be contaminated with whatever chemicals you are using. All pesticides are dangerous to human health, even those persons exposed indirectly. Always wash clothing used in chemical application separately. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, Ministry of Agriculture. The control of red rice through careful management of water levels in your rice field for the first 40 days is critical to your yield at the end of the crop. Water acts as an agent to control red rice and even other grass weeds at a depth of 4 inches. With proper land preparation and leveling established, maintaining a light flood continuously until the canopy is fully developed will suppress red rice establishment. Leaving the land exposed for any length of time will give weeds an ample chance to germinate and infest the field. Panicle cutting should be done prior to shattering. The second cutting exercise should be conducted at 20 days to control panicle regrowth. Water management is one of 3 critical interventions for the effective control of red rice. A message from the Guyana Rice Development Board, Ministry of Agriculture. Coconut farmers across Guyana are invited to visit the Hope Estate for top quality coconut seedlings in any quantity. Now available are 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. It should be noted that the spacing of your coconut seedlings is determined by the variety you are planting. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone numbers 256-0599 or 663-2709. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture.
Well, that's all the time we have on this week's edition of This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. On this week's presentation, we brought you highlights of the commissioning ceremony for the Hope Estate's latest nursery, part of a decentralization program for nurseries, coconut nurseries in Guyana. Coconut nurseries are going to be established across the country so that coconut farmers will have easy access. Those seedlings will be within reach. So this one at Kiruni was the first of several to be established. You will be hearing about these nurseries as they come to your area. Look out also for the seminars and workshops that will be coming your way to help you understand the value of the coconut palm, the nuts, everything that goes with it, and the wealth generating potential that this tree has. Of course, as you know, this is the third most valuable crop after rice and sugar, earning 8 million US last year. That's 1 point something billion Ghana dollars. So you know there's value there. And that's just the raw product we export, just the coconut water and you know the nuts and so on. When you add value to that, you use coconuts for the production of soap and oils and a whole host of value-added products that can be derived from coconuts. Then you really are going to be tapping into the, as I said, wealth-generating potential of this tree and the nut. I'm Christopher Holder, on behalf of the entire production team, urging you to join us again next time as we continue to bring you issues and events occurring within the agriculture sector. Goodbye.